Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Mitch. It's Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Welcome to the live stream. Got a cup of coffee sitting in front of me. So as not to break tradition from the morning shows, drink it if you got it. Oh. You miss me. Seems like just a few hours ago I was, well, wait. It was only a few hours ago that I was here. Pardon me while I adjust the camera a little bit. Elevate myself a little bit in the picture. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Alrighty. Everything's got to be just perfect. Position the microphone just right. Good to see you all. We have 39 people here. 39 people. Don't get as many people in the afternoon, but doesn't mean we can't have a good time. We can't have a good time while we have a chat. We have a little panel which is coming up. I'll put the link in there in a few minutes. Ask some of my friends to join me, and we'll talk about God knows what. Hopefully a little carnivore thrown in. I think that's primarily the reason most of you come here. Ended up with no plumber today after all that. Talked on the phone with him. Didn't like the looks of the weather. I got a live stream at 3 o'clock. Yeah, one thing after another. So he's going to come tomorrow. So tomorrow morning at 8:30, I'll give you the old guy plumber update. And hopefully he's going to crawl around under my house, decide everything we need. And then sometime during the week, I will run over to Lowe's and buy it. I do get a 10% military discount on everything at Lowe's, which is very nice of them. And I guess I'll have a weekend job. So next weekend, hopefully, we'll give it another shot and maybe get this plumbing fixed. So after almost 9 years of living in this house with plumbing nightmares all the time, maybe I've waited long enough, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be fixed. It'll be fixed. Mark Whistler just bought me a coffee. Thank you, Mark. Did you just buy it now? Oh, yeah, you must have, he says. Nice cup. I've told you, Mark, this is one of my favorite cups right here. Not only because it says morning coffee with Mitch on one side, but because it's got Kenny in a black hoodie on the other side. When it sits here in front of me on my stand that you can see right there, Kenny's staring me right in the face, and makes me smile. So it helps elevate my mood. Thank you for the coffee, Mark. Thank you so much. Speaking of coffee, why don't I do this? Because even though this is an afternoon live stream, I still encourage everybody, if they feel the need to show some support for what I do, you too can buy me a coffee if you would like. And did I get it in there? Did it post? No. Why didn't it post? Come on, computer. Sorry, guys. Try it again. Let's see. Why is it not cutting and pasting? Oh, no. All right. More than one way to skin a cat. There it is. Okay. Enough of that. Get that out of the way. Let's see how we doing. 54 people. Okay, people are coming in. A little slower start, but I'm in no hurry. We haven't. It didn't rain here today, but it's kind of overcast. It is warm. I'm in a t-shirt, and I don't know if you can, if I can even show you this. But this. Hold on a second. This is. It says this is my cigar smoking shirt. Look at that. Is that cool? Is that cool? How about that? How about that? I showed that off to you the other morning on the live stream when I first got it. But I was wearing a sweatshirt out here, and I sat down to do the show, and I said, wow, it's warm in here. And it is. It got warm. It's in the 70s outside, and I'm in this sunroom here, so it has warmed up. And I may even have to turn that little ceiling fan on over my head. True to the expression, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. That seems to be very true for Florida. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute. Weather changes from one extreme to the other. It seems like minutes. Well, let's see. Let me say hi to some of the people that are here. Some of the pre-show arrivals. First one, Tanya. Good morning, and she knew it. She said first. Kitchen Witch, yes, you are. Tuca comes in with quack, quack. See, that Rick, Charger Mopar, started that quack, quack thing, and everybody's playing along with him. Retired Rick says hello. Mandy Beto says, see you soon, much love. Yes, thank you. And Thomas, Target Prime Rib is here. Hello, Mitch, and all of us Mitch Fits. And you notice up in the upper right-hand corner, I have the Mitch Fits logo. Fresh off the t-shirt. And I saw a few of you have ordered those t-shirts today. That's cool. Just remember, send me pictures when you get them, wearing them. Preferably, actually, and holding up your morning coffee cup if you have it as well. We'll get a double whammy out of one picture. And let's see, you're already chatting back and forth with each other. Francine Bourgeois, thank you. Thank you, Francine, for the hot coffee. And Francine says, good day to all you Mitch Fits as well. And I'm stuck with that now. Francine reminded us that Adolf Hitler was also Times Man of the Year in 1938. 1 year before he started the greatest massacre of the 20th century. His only lasted 6 years. Ansel's 60 years at least. Correct. And Francine also suggested I should vacuum seal that Crisco horror book for the people in the 22nd century. Yeah, I talked about that this morning. You weren't here this morning when I said that's exactly what I'm going to do with it, to preserve it. Soon I'm going to make a video about it. I'm going to photograph some of the pages to use in the video and read some of it, and then I'm going to seal it up. Vacuum seal it in my WeVac vacuum sealer. And I want to keep it with no damage, no moisture, no nothing. So that's the plan. Lady June was here. How you doing, Lady June? That was at 125. Mike Seeley from Tampa chimed in. Cliff Medina. Hey, Cliff, how are you? How are you, Cliff? And in case you haven't heard yet, my vitamin D was 64. I know it may not be as high as your 6,237 to the 10 minus to the 10 plus 37th power vitamin D, but it was, I was very pleased with that. I was very pleased, and I'll take it. 64, right about mid-range, a little hot, a little more than half, well, middle to higher on the mid-range, and a big improvement from the 30 from a year ago. My cholesterol, LDL, was also 100 points higher than last year, around 440 something. So I'm actually happy about that. I think that's a good thing. Aunt B chimed in. Good to see you. And Rick from Miami Charger Mopar is here. Good to see you. Kevin Michael Family of Smith says, howdy, hey. How are you, Kevin? Good to see you. Jerry Graham chimed in before the show, and Sandy Blythe chimed in, and Mike Seeley Sr. And Tina Schweikerath chimed in about 2:45. Papa Carnivore's here. Good to see you. Peter, Tammy, Pitar Chaya, Tammy. You're in the house. Terry. Hi, Terry Sue is here. Good to see you. What does she say? Oh, shoot, I forgot. If I turn my phone screen off, the feed pauses. How come? Um, Probably because you're watching on YouTube. If you were listening to like an internet radio thing, it probably keeps playing. But because there was a video component to it and you turn your screen off, it wouldn't keep playing. Doesn't just continue to play the audio. That's my best guess. I've noticed that on my phone as well, just so you know. Smoothie 420 is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Terry says, doesn't do that for the regular stuff. Yeah, because most of the time we're listening to something on our phone, like a podcast with no video component to it, or a music channel or something like that. And God knows what kind of cell phone you have, what version of the operating system that you're running on it, and all the other variables that make all these things work differently from each other. It's very complicated, very frustrating sometimes. Marla Kelly, good to see you. And Gary No Slow is here. How you doing? And we're coming up on 3 o'clock. And the first one, the winner, ding, 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 is Lori. Lori's carnivore story. There it is, she says. Followed by Peter, Terry Sue, Gary No Slow at 3:01. So no, not the frantic contest rush that we have every morning, but that takes us up to where the show is starting. And Anna, PL07, how you doing? It's good to have you here in my laptop. Well, I like sitting on people's laps. It's very nice, very comfortable. Thank you. Jerry Voitush, how you doing from Ponte Vedra Beach? And who else haven't I said hi to that was in kind of early? Don Schonger, good afternoon to you. Carnivore Stork is here from Minnesota. Hiya. Stork, how you doing? Oh, Sandy Blythe, would you believe I never watched South Park until yesterday? It's so funny. You just wait until you get into it. It will, honest to God, it will blow your mind. It's so funny. And it just keeps, there's like, what, 26, 27, 28 whole seasons plus specials. Ah, God, what a piece of work that is. And I still watch it. I've seen all of that, but I still watch the reruns. You don't remember stuff you've seen years ago. And it's like watching it all over again. And it just gets funnier and funnier as you start picking out more of the subtlety and the nuances in the humor in this thing. Because first time you see it, you're going to get about 5% of it because you don't know the characters yet. Once you know the characters, a whole new dimension of humor opens up. A question from Steve McAvoy. Hello, Mitch. I will see you on the 28th. How many people will be there? Yeah, I can't tell you exactly. Probably somewhere around 15 so far, I think. But I think you sent, I don't remember offhand if you had sent me an RSVP yet, but send one just so I know if you haven't. If you have, I could take a look, but I don't want to do it right now. But great. Be great to meet you, Steve. Be great to meet you. I think, God, it all blends. It all blends in. Mike Seeley just sent me. Mike Seeley, just a quick note confirming my wife and my dad will be at the meetup. Okay. Let me take a quick look. Let me just take a real quick look here. And hang on a second. Bear with me. Where's my folder with all the meetup RSVPs? Here it is. And yeah, Steve McAvoy. Steve, yeah, okay, I thought that was you, Steve. Steve's the guy from South Carolina. It's actually going to drive down here. Yeah, we sent, according to this email chain, 19 emails back and forth, you and me. I thought that name sounded familiar. Pardon me if it didn't ring a bell real quick, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you, man. Just be careful. It's a lot of driving just to have some lunch. I hope you like it. Hope you like it. But some people just like to go places. You sound like one of those guys. 8 hours on the road, hell, that's, right around the corner. I'm almost like that. At least I used to be. I used to drive all over the country to fly model airplanes and model jets, hauling a trailer behind me full of airplanes. Boyd Lamb is here. Hiya, Boyd. How you doing? Yeah, there you go, Steve. It's raining in South Carolina. Matt Thompson's here. How are you, Matt? How are you? Danny in Boston's with us. And I don't really have any show notes other than what I normally say. Buy me a coffee. Put QQQ in front of your questions. I think what I'm going to do right now is, boy, my phone is just going ding, ding, ding here. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the link for the panel into the chat. Anybody wants to join me, and I'm sure the usual suspects will come popping up here any second, and we'll have a little social hour for as long as it lasts. Meanwhile, I'll keep going down the chat. Tammy says, I'm venturing back to the north coast of Dominican Republic. What's the best cigar and how much should I pay for it? It's hard to say what's the best cigar. I mean, they make so many different cigars in the Dominican Republic, any of them. Not knowing what your tastes might be. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know what you would pay for them in the Dominican Republic. But usually in the States, you're looking at maybe $6 to as much as 15 or 20 for the best per stick, per cigar. So I can't advise you. I haven't been to the Dominican Republic for a lot of years. So that's an answer. I don't know. But I envy you. The north coast of the DR is just north of where Santiago is, which is the cigar capital of the world. And it's in north central Dominican Republic. Beautiful country up there. And the resorts on the coast are gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. Carnivore Butcher's here. How you doing? And the green room has filled up with three of the usual suspects. Boom, boom, boom. Incredible. Glad to see you guys are here. I've got Rick. I've got Tuka smiling broadly. And Gregory, cigar in mouth, steering wheel in hand. Ah, yes. Peter, looking forward to meeting Steve. Yes, Jeff Graham is here. How you doing? I certainly hope they get your plumbing fixed. Yeah, we'll get it. We're on to it now. At least I got a plumber. At least I got a schedule. So one step at a time. It's impossible to get anything done in this world anymore without overcomplicating it. Yeah. Boyd Lamb says, how in the world did you let plumbers crawl underneath the house and create a material list, go to Lowe's and purchase, and then get back for a Saturday? Yeah, no, I didn't. That's just it. I didn't. There's no way I could have. That was the plan. It shouldn't have taken them any more than an hour to crawl around and see what they needed. But no, they're going to come tomorrow. And I have nothing planned for tomorrow. I might put out a video, but nothing that's scheduled. No more live streams tomorrow. We'll have time to do that. And then sometime during the week in the afternoon, I'll run over there and buy all the stuff. I need to make a trip to Lowe's to get a few miscellaneous things anyway. So I'll get it done. I don't like to have deadlines and have to rush getting things done. Not anymore. It didn't used to bother me, but I don't want to have stress at this stage in my life. I see Thomas Pruitt has joined us in the green room. Be patient, guys. I'll be with you in a minute. I just want to get through the welcomes a little more because I know what happens when you guys get in here is I get so distracted by the conversation that I don't pay enough attention to the chat. So I wanted to not leave the rest of the viewers out there hanging. 93 people are here. Wow. Question, Mitch. I missed your video on your blood test results. What day? I didn't put out a video yet. I just talked about it on one of the morning live streams. That'll be coming out one day this week. I don't know when yet. I haven't started making it, but it's going to be one of the next 1, 2, or 3 videos that I make. And I did want to show you this, and I'm not going to talk about it as much as I did this morning, but CB Carmack sent me a little surprise package. And I talked about it this morning, and I'm not going to get into it as deeply as I did, but I was so overwhelmed by this that it really moved me. And what he sent me were 2 monumentally important pieces of history as far as diet and nutrition goes. Things that were turning points that caused all the health problems we have today. And the first thing he sent me was this book. And the title of the book is The Story, you can just about see it, The Story of Crisco. And this is an old book. This book was published in 1913. This is a 112-year-old book. And it's the complete story of Crisco and a huge book full of recipes of how to cook things with Crisco. And that was the first. This was the beginning. This was the beginning of the poisoning of the human race. The first instance of seed oils being introduced into something that at the time, and unfortunately still through to this day, they think it's something that is healthy for a human to put into his body. Not even close. At the same time, the Seventh-day Adventists were just about ramping up back in the early 1900s with John Harvey Kellogg, Battle Creek Sanitarium, and their big push to demonize red meat, make everybody vegetarians. And the combination was kind of like a 1-2 punch back then. Don't eat meat, eat healthy seed oils, and use it to cook everything. And there's recipes in here for virtually everything. Using Crisco instead of butter, lard, tallow, or any other kind of animal fat. This book was a propaganda piece. It was a marketing piece designed to, quote, educate housewives as to how to feed their families healthier by using the products made with seed oils, which were basically hydrogenated motor oil is what it was. Because prior to Crisco, all of these oils were used for one thing, and that was to lubricate machinery. And he sent me this book, and I think he found 2 of them. But, man, what a tremendous gift, and I know that it's valuable. So thank you so much again, CB. I mean, I probably made him blush this morning, but he sent me this book. And as soon as I'm going to make a video about it, I'm going to photograph it, I'm going to talk about the book, what it says. And then as soon as I'm done, I am going to vacuum seal it with my WeVac vacuum sealer. Seal it up in a vacuum really good so that it preserves it, locks out any moisture, mildew, or anything else that might hurt this book, because it's relatively delicate right now, being a 100-year-old book. He sent me that, and I knew that was coming. He told me he had one for me. But then in that package was even a bigger surprise. And that bigger surprise was this. This is the Time magazine. Not just a picture of it, but an actual magazine. It's all sealed up in plastic and everything with a cardboard backing to keep it straight. But it is an actual publicly distributed copy of the January 1961 issue where Ancel Keys was on the cover. And this was the second nail in the coffin of the extinction of the human race from malnutrition, when Ancel Keys came up with the harebrained idea that meat and animal fat are causing heart disease and cholesterol is clogging your arteries, so we should eat no fat, we should eat very little meat, and we should eat a diet of primarily healthy fruits, vegetables, and whole grains and other carbohydrates. That was the beginning of the end of a healthy human race, first in this country, and then it spread pretty much around the world. Good old Ancel. And we've all seen a picture of this magazine many times on websites, on YouTube videos, when people talk about Ancel Keys, Time Man of the Year. And the sad thing is they still think this guy was a hero. Shows you how far we have to go yet. After all this time, the entire medical establishment is pushing a plant-based diet with healthy whole grains and carbohydrates and a minimum amount of animal protein and fat. And yet, not only are they not solving anything or curing anything, it is getting worse exponentially. Somebody wake up and go, duh. It's not working, evidently. Wonder why. But thank you, CB, for sending me these. These are great. These are great. I'm going to find a place in my house to display them so I can keep reminding myself of just what I'm fighting for here and what we're all trying to accomplish with our little movement. Call it what you like. Call it Mitch Fits. Call it however. And if you can't save the planet, so save yourself. Save yourself. That you can do that. Okay, and as usual, I leave a message up there in front of me when I'm talking and showing off things. I gotta glance at the right monitor sometime and see that that's up there. All right, my friends, I'm gonna cruise down just a little bit in the chat. That I'm gonna bring in. First one in line is Rick. I'll bring Rick in just a second. So you guys get ready. You guys get ready. Steve Studley's here. How you doing, Steve? Good to see you. Jay Haggard, Dan's Deals. Hiya, Dan. Resting Witch Face is here. The happiest carnivore. How you doing? Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. And anybody else new? I don't want to leave anybody else. Hey, Ellen is here. Hiya, Ellen. How you doing? Good to see you, William McCartney. Wow, wow, wow. Good to see you. Tammy is here. Kilch is charging for Homestead. How all proceeds will go there. I know it's come up in the conversation. Why is yeah, okay, so they're charging for a meetup, evidently, to raise money for Curry's film. That explains it. I didn't think Kilch needed the money. Princess Mama's here. How you doing, Princess? Good to see you. And I think I'm up to 317. I think that's probably all I need to do. I will try to keep an eye on the chat as we're all talking away, but if I miss a question, I'll try to keep up with it. When these guys get going with each other, sometimes it's hard to even break in and interrupt them. So, I mean, I'll do the best I can. And if you ask a question or I miss something and you come in the morning, just bring it up again. I'll catch it in the morning. Okay, because I don't have a madhouse to deal with. Speaking of madhouse, let me do this. Let me bring in Rick.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, of course. I can always hear
Excellent.
you with all your high-quality microphones and audio mixers and professional studio equipment.
Yeah, from 1970.
Oh, well, listen, they made great audio in 19. Just look at some of the quality of some of the older records. They're better than they are today, back when everything was analog, before all this digital crap took over.
That's very true. And you know, it's funny you mentioned the old books. First of all, I have the 1984 Time magazine somewhere that had the frowning bacon and eggs on it. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh, wow. God, what a set that would make.
Yep, because that's how I started the heart attack diet. That's where I got the idea from.
Oh, my God. Wow. That would be a great pair to display like bookcases, like bookends.
Yep. And as for old books, I got all my old architecture books. This is from 1941.
Cool.
It's about,
it's like that's kind of like my high school yearbook.
So, and I got that, and then I found my original digital camera. I was doing a little digging.
Oh my God, look at that. My first digital camera was one of those Sonys that had a floppy disk in it.
The Mavica?
Yeah, it had a floppy disk. And you could store maybe 1 or 2 pictures per floppy disk. It was incredible. It was incredible. And I got a picture of me somewhere.
Really?
I was vacationing in Hawaii, was standing in front of some volcano or something, and I had that camera hanging around my neck, because that was the camera that I used on that vacation to take all those pictures. And I had forgotten how ridiculous that was. And you were limited to 1.2 megabytes per disc, so you couldn't, not like today where we end up with these 100 megapixel pictures that take up 20, 30, 40 megabytes. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's right. Yeah. And I still
Yeah.
have that. I still have that Mavica somewhere around here. I've been going
Well,
through my stuff.
I'm sure you would. You are the epitome of what we call pack rats, man. All right, let me bring everybody else in here, and then we'll get going. And from Finland, everybody, Tuukka, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, Rick, and hi, Morty. Rick and Morty.
How are you, Tuukka?
You, boss?
I'm doing great. Let me get rid of the Mitch Fitz logo above your head, because when your picture gets smaller, when I bring in the next row of people, it will be right over your face. So hang on one second, and I will do away with that. There you go. Okay, through the magic of buttons. All right, good to see you, Tuukka. And who else we got? We have frozen up, it appears. Greg, what happened to you?
Greg, how are you doing, man?
Is your audio working, Greg? All right. Well, we'll leave Greg there and see if he doesn't come on, and if not, he'll have to re-log in. When you're driving a truck, you drive in and out of good cellular service. Yeah. Rick's holding up a rotary phone. Yeah, that's what Greg needs, and a long wire.
Oh yeah.
No, he dropped out. All right. In that case, I will bring in Thomas. How's the beard coming, Thomas? Yeah, it's coming back, looking good.
Slowly but surely.
How you doing, my friend? Good. Good to see you.
Good seeing you too.
All right.
Seeing everybody else too.
Welcome. And last but not least, fiddling with his camera, trying to get it just perfect, is Peter. Peter with his My Food Pyramid shirt on.
Can you see the bottom?
What is the hat? Eat, meat, repeat. Yeah, no, I can see it now. Yeah, nice.
And I got my American flag hat, if everyone can see that there.
Yeah, there you go. Now I can see it. Boy, aren't you?
Patriotic and carnivore.
Aren't you a fashion statement today? Oh, man, look at Rick. Holy cow.
You know, it's funny. I see Peter on my phone, but I don't see him on the computer screen. I'm looking
really?
Yeah, I have the same. I can't see Peter in my phone, but I can see him in my telly.
Let me take a look at the feed coming over YouTube. Yeah, what I'm seeing,
it's good here.
Coming over YouTube in my browser shows Peter there. Shows him there, no problem. Also, am I live on Rumble? Because I always seem to have trouble with these afternoon live streams on Rumble, and they don't work. A couple people in the chat, No Slow and Mike Seeley, Gary and Mike Seeley Sr., but no, it's not. It's not playing. I need to recreate the template for that live stream. So I guess we're not going to be on Rumble today, but so be it. We'll be on YouTube.
Are you seeing Rick and Tuukka frozen by any chance? That's what I'm seeing.
I'm here.
Who me?
No,
I see them moving on both the computer and the.
Yeah, neither one of them are frozen. Nobody's frozen. Everybody's moving. Yeah. I'm seeing everybody
there
move.
You go. What did you do?
Let me go back
Anthony's
out.
actually asking if you're a spirit.
I'm going to go out and come back in, Mitch. Okay?
Okay.
Maybe.
You just came in.
No,
you're good.
You just, yeah.
And we got Greg in. Gregory's back in here. Hey, Greg, how you doing, young man?
All right, how you guys doing?
Okay. Now your volume is...
Now Peter's frozen, though.
Yeah, your volume's very low today, so who knows what the hell's going on. Last time you were blowing our brains out.
Turn it up.
Okay, yeah.
Peter must be on Wi-Fi.
Peter is frozen, I think.
And then Peter, your connection is terrible, so go out and come back in. There he is. Now I got Peter in there. Now I got Peter in there twice.
Actually, here he's in twice.
Yeah,
I know. I got to get rid of one of them. There you go. Okay.
we got a double. We got a double.
Well, as long as he doesn't look, as long as they don't look at each other and start talking back and forth, we're probably okay. Yeah, it looks like you got a good signal now, Peter. You're moving around.
Yeah, somehow everyone started to freeze. Something happened, so I just went out.
That was your connection. Everybody else's connections were fine, and your connection to us was choppy, jumpy. The audio was way behind, lagging. So that was between you and StreamYard, and there was nothing anybody could do. But you log out, you could log and you log back in again, and then if you end up in here twice with two separate feeds to StreamYard, I go ahead and just kick one of them. So I did that.
Ow!
And I have to be careful not to kick the good one and leave the bad one in there.
Ow! Stop it, you little monster!
Who's that? Oh, it's you. It's the cat. Yeah.
This little monster.
Guys gotta have your. You gotta have your animals. Oh man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Look at those teeth. Stop biting. Bad.
Holy cow! Holy cow, guys! Jeff Graham bought me 5 coffees. Thank you, Jeff, so much. Very generous of you. Life can be tough, but we're tougher together, and coffee helps. Have a wonderful day. Jeff. Not Jeff. I'm sorry. I must be going. It's Jerry Graham.
Out you go.
Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. I don't know why it looked like Jeff when I glanced down. Tiny little text on a cell phone. Maybe the old guy's going blind. I don't think so. Jerry Graham. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. Very generous of you. I really appreciate that. And another email. Everybody emails. Tuca emailed me. Tuca emailed me some photos. Oh my God! Oh, I can't. I don't know. There's an image, Tuca. I'll never get out of. I don't know if I should show this to people. I'll never get it out of my mind.
Sorry, Ellen. I was just talking to Ellen in WhatsApp, and she said that I should share these.
Oh, okay. Let me.
Greg's asking.
Sorry for the short term.
That's okay. I'll share them, but not right now.
No.
Is it a before picture?
No, it's pictures of him flexing like a bodybuilder with no shirt on. Greg, we lost Greg. We lost Greg again.
Okay. He just asked me. He needs the link to get back in.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
ladies. No news today.
Let me post the link back in here again. So, hang on. And there it is. And remind me, guys, every few minutes to post that link so so people can find it. So people can find it in the chat. All right, I think I did all the housekeeping.
It's a sausage club again.
What's that?
A sausage club again.
Yeah, of course. Now we'll see.
Don't forget the ducky.
We'll see.
2 quackers and 3 sausages.
I can't believe that I have to actually turn that ceiling fan on low. It's actually getting warm in here. It's been so cold, and we got any of you who are experiencing that cold front that's coming across the southeast right now.
Not here.
No, not here yet, but I'm talking about Mississippi, Alabama, New Orleans. There's a polar vortex thing or whatever, something like that, that's going to make it really cold. They're talking about snow in northern Florida.
Wow.
So
nice.
That's coming tomorrow. I think it's supposed to come through here tomorrow. I can tell on my weather app right here. Let me see. My weather app is right here.
It's like 78 degrees here.
Yeah, it's 75 here. I mean, it's gorgeous here today, but let me see what it's going to be like tomorrow morning early. Tomorrow, Sunday. No, it's going to be still in the 70s tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, it's starting to cool down. And Monday morning at 8 a.m., it's going to be 48 degrees. And then Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., it'll be warm again. So we're not going to get hit that bad down here.
Yeah, it's not
down here in Central Florida. So it's going to be going to maybe head across north of us or something. So
Yeah.
well, that's not too bad. I rather do these things outside here in the morning. I enjoy it out here, especially when it's sunny. I love being out in the morning, seeing nature, having the sun on my face, and much better than being cooped up in the house in front of a green screen. I don't care what picture I put behind me. It's not like being there.
Tuca, you look like you're doing better, Tuca. You got a nice smile on your face. You got color back in your face.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you did,
Mitch. I forgot. I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you about the incoming, but I didn't
okay.
have
Well,
time to
thank
do
you.
it.
Thank
So
you. No, they
sorry.
really weren't that. They weren't that bad. I'm just making fun of you. I will show them to people.
know.
I mean,
I
you're
know.
stuck now unless you tell me not to. I'll show them. Because I'm sure it's a humongous improvement over the way you used to be. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I can tell you what's in those pictures. So there are two pictures. One of them is from June last summer, and one of them is from last Thursday. And I was just trying to pose like a bodybuilder to show you like what's going on with the body. So that's all. That's about it.
You should be proud of you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself.
Thanks.
Got a question here from Seaside. And she says, because I do need to break in and answer some of these questions. Good afternoon, Mitch. Do you think carnivore will ever become mainstream or at least recognized as an option? I think eventually it'll be recognized as an option. But I think we have generations to go before it might ever become mainstream. And I don't even know. Well, vegan is still nowhere near mainstream. It's still even vegan right now is still a radical diet. Vegetarian is not mainstream at even close to, and they've been pushing that since the last 100 years. So I don't think any diet other than the carb addicted person's diet, which is even a whole foods version of the standard American diet, leaving out the ultra-processed foods, but eating the fruits and the vegetables and the plants and some meat and eating a balanced diet where
grains,
everything, potatoes and grains and nuts and seeds. And listen, if we can get rid of the just tame down the ultra-processed foods, get the companies to stop trying to make them more addictive. If we could just get rid of the seed oils. And introduce the fact to the world that red meat is good for you and animal fat is good for you. If we could get that far in the next 10 or 20 years, we will have gone a long way
well, I
to
hope
solve the problem.
I hope that people don't start up all the meat until I die. Then they can buy all the red meat they want. I still want to get my $3.99 Fresco Emas T-bones. Right, Rick?
There's always that component to it. You want to help everybody, but you want to, not in my backyard, man. Leave my meat alone. Don't make me race you in the supermarket in the morning.
I'll tell everyone around me that stuff will kill you. That red meat will kill you. And then I go into the store and I'm loading up on all the red meat.
Yeah, I could see you in there, Peter, looking at somebody's shop. Like, oh no.
Don't buy that.
You're not going to buy that, are you? Haven't you heard what that stuff does to you? Oh, maybe I should put it back.
Let me put
it back. Let me put it back for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the photo, if you look at the photos from the 1970s, or if you look at the movie Jaws, where they show people on the beach, you can't see any exercise people on the beach. They are all lean, healthy-looking.
They're all skinny,
people.
and we look at those pictures today, Tuca, and we say, "Oh man, they were way too skinny," because over the years we get a different mental image of what an average person looks like.
Yeah.
But the average in our head, the picture is just bigger and bigger and bigger every year. 1973. What do you got there?
What's that? Is that a calendar? It's a calendar.
Wow.
Yes, it is. It's been on my wall all these years.
I mean, I don't know if what you have there, Rick. I know that they have names, disease-like names for things like being a hoarder or something like that. But oh no, look at this.
Oh, the Pink Panther.
This is always just
Pink
like show and
Panther.
tell every week. Every Saturday when Rick comes in, we get show and tell.
That's it.
Oh, he always does show and tell, Mitch.
I know. The problem is, we've known Rick for quite a while now, and he has yet to show us the same thing twice. Just what the hell have you got there? Are you living next to a Goodwill or something? You just run next door and grab something?
Wait, Rick. Hey, Rick. Can you show them the diet? Rick, can you show them the death before diet thing?
Yeah, I think that's in the file room. I'd have to look. Yeah, I think that might be in the
File room?
The file room.
The file room?
file room.
Oh, Jerry Graham, who was so nice to buy me all these coffees, took me to task. Question, my name is Jerry. I am a woman for Jeff's sake. I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm sorry.
I had a feeling it was a female.
I noticed it. I mean, I deserve that. I really do. But I can blame my tired old eyes on that. And I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. This is my second live stream of the day. Things are starting to get a little fuzzy out there.
The lava lamp.
I caught it. I'm sorry, Jerry. And listen, it was so nice of you to do that. I really do appreciate it. And,
Hey, listen, Michelle.
For Jeff's
Michelle,
sake.
Michelle, you got to stop misgendering people, Michelle.
By the way, Mitch,
this is now officially a clown show, guys. This is a clown show.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mitch, how's the audio?
Who
I can hear
does?
you.
Me?
Now you're loud again. You're a little too loud again.
All right.
But don't run off a cliff while you're busy adjusting the audio, man. Pay attention to the road.
Oh,
Rick,
that's the old cell phones. The
That's
brick.
my first cell phone.
Yeah, turn it side, but yeah, I had exactly the same phone. The big fat. Then they made a thinner. They made the thinner.
Hey, it's a Motorola brick.
Yeah.
That's the brick. Yeah.
Those things are freaking indestructible. I dropped one off a wing in a taxi,
Yeah.
and they kept working.
Extra battery, of course.
Wow. Oh, look who's here. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Mark.
How
What's
you
up,
doing, my
everybody?
friend? Oh, Mark's got a cigar. Good. Join the
Oh man.
Tina
fold. Peter, where's
Tina had
your
a
cigar?
question for
Hold
you.
on.
Yes, Tuca, what is it?
Tina had a question for Rick. She was asking, Rick, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Yeah.
Same thing I
Tina
always
was-
drink.
Tina Swickerath was asking, what are you drinking? It was earlier in the chat.
What is it? Oh,
It's water. Ice water.
with ice. Yeah.
That's all I drink.
Okay.
Me too.
See?
Cheers.
Uh-huh. Cheers.
I had to go get my drink. It was on the back. I had it set behind this big monitor. I couldn't reach it from where I was with the headphones on. I have San Pellegrino right here. Carnivore champagne.
You're right. I got stuff all over the place. I could have show and tell every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're right. I
got stuff good.
all over the place. Had a 2.5
That's
hour live stream this morning.
Did you really?
Yep.
And you
Every
talk
morning.
about carnivore, do you mostly?
Carnivore and whatever question somebody brings up.
Cool. Wish I had. I watched some of one of your live streams, Rick. I wish I had time
Really?
to watch. Yeah, so many people that come in here with these things that I do that have YouTube channels that I try. There's not enough hours in the day to keep up with everybody.
Problem I have.
I appreciate you guys keeping up with me. I really do. I know how hard it is and what the options are, especially now. My I don't know about your YouTube feed, but mine is just full of politics right now.
No,
Well,
not
it's
mine.
because if I watch one, what do you got there, Peter?
I got a Maceda, Maceda.
Looks good. I never heard of it, but it looks good. That doesn't mean anything just because I never heard of it.
Oh, it was. I got it in Ybor City, Tampa.
Okay.
They were hand rolling cigars there.
Oh, okay. That's why I never heard of it. And for the uninitiated among you, Ybor City is spelled Y-B-O-R. Y-B-O-R. And people who don't know any better will say, yeah, I was in Ybor City.
They loaded with chickens.
I was in Ybor City, and that's not the worst pronounced city name in Florida. There's a city in Florida called Oneco. You ever heard of Oneco?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, Oneco is spelled O-N-E-C-O. O-N-E-C-O, Oneco. Well, when you look at it on a piece of paper, it looks like one company, one CO. And I'll be damned if I didn't hear somebody call it one company something. Yeah, I'm trying to find that one company. You know where it is?
Onco.
Oneco.
They used to call it Onco. It's like Ronco.
It is. And thank you, Carnivore Storka Super Sticker. Very generous of you. Thanks so much. I know you did that quite a while ago. I hope you're still here. So you can hear me. Thank you for it. But it just now came up in the chat that I'm scrolling through. And I'd like to show it on the screen and acknowledge your little gift there and tell you how much I appreciate it. See that? See how far behind I am? CB's just chiming in now. Hey, CB, I showed off your stuff again. I hope you were here for that. I imagine you are because this is quite a while ago in the chat. And Rudolph White says, question, where is South Park streaming? I can't find it. South Park is
Paramount
not
Plus.
streaming for free anywhere.
Yeah, Paramount Plus, you can get it.
Paramount Plus is the only place that you can find it. Unfortunately, they know that they have a valuable product that they don't have to give away, and they don't. It was on Fox for the longest time, but not anymore. So I was, over the years, I've just been kind of downloading those things, kind of on the sly, because I have ways I can download that stuff on the internet. And I won't admit to anything or doing anything wrong, but yes, it happens. And I have almost a complete collection on my media server in my house here, so I can watch it anytime I want. But I love it. Hey, Tuca just gave me a super sticker for, is that £3, €3? Thank you so much, Tuca. Oh, my man.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Ellen's chatting away over there, and everybody's chatting away. Aunt B, Mark Booz is in the chat saying hi. Man, you're multitasking there, Mark.
Yeah. Watching my phone, the chat on my phone, and you guys.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. You have to be able to multitask these days just to live your daily life.
No joke.
Hey, Mitch, Jeff Johnson was in the earlier, and he was saying that he was with some people, and they said, "Oh, you're getting way too. You're sitting there eating pizza and stuff in their face." I think that it is normalized that people think you're supposed to be bigger.
Oh, I think so. And when you really get find yourself an ideal weight chart from 50 years ago. Remember the charts? If you're 5'8", you should weigh between this and that. If you're a man, and if you're a woman, look at the weights on those things. Nobody weighs that anymore. I do. I finally now fall in. Yeah, Rick too. I finally fall into the category.
So Mitch, I was looking at the BMI charts. This is many years ago, and I'm like, there is no way someone my height could be, 190, whatever it was, 85, 180, whatever. And I'm thinking, I'm right in the ideal range. And I'm I was like 190, and I'm like, I never believe I could get there.
Yeah,
I'm still considered morbidly obese.
Well, what the hell? How could that be?
I asked the doctor. He said, "Well,
I mean, I saw you in person. You don't look morbidly obese. You don't look anything.
Yeah, you look fine. You look fine.
Tell my doctor that."
Hey, Mitch, I got to cut out. So.
Oh, okay. Well, Thomas, good to see you, man. Keep that beard coming, will you?
I will every time.
Okay. All right, my friend. Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you.
Greg's back again.
Bye.
Okay. So Thomas is going and Greg is coming. Here we go. Okay.
Hey, I'm on the western slope of the Arizona mountains. dropping into Kingman, so signal's spotty.
Greg,
Yeah, but you
Hey,
got
Greg,
that
have
sun.
you
You
ever
got
heard
that
of,
sun on you. Look at that. That looks so good, doesn't it? Holy cow!
Oh yeah.
And even Mark, you
Hey,
look like
Gre-
you get some sun down there where you are.
Yeah, I'm getting sun. I got the shades down.
Yeah, I got nothing but overcast up here. It's kind of dingy.
Is it
But,
just me, or is Greg way louder than
Yeah,
everyone
Greg is
else?
way louder than everybody, Tuca, but he's got a very touchy volume adjustment on that
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
evidently.
Oh yeah, true, true.
So we, you
Sorry,
know,
Greg, for complaining.
we do the best we can here. Listen, it's amazing to me we do as well as we actually do once we get all these different people with all these
Oh,
different
yeah.
devices coming in on their own feeds separately and managing to aggregate the whole thing into one picture where everybody's mouth seems to be moving with the voice that's coming out. It's amazing. It's unfriggin' believable.
That should be better there.
That's
Yep.
much better. Yes, much better. You were
Yeah,
overdriving very hard before.
Greg, where's
What's that?
your cigar? Oh, he's got one.
Yeah, he's got it.
Right where it belongs, between my middle and index finger.
Only two without cigars.
It's a Monte Cristo White Series.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, buddy of mine. I got when I was at JR Cigar last month. This was it was in a 5-pack for $15.
Why would
Spanky
they
needs
put
the
that
link.
pack?
Spanky
Why
wants in.
Put in a 5-pack.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Put a Monte Cristo White in a 5-pack.
Yeah, for $15. They called them stocking stuffers. It was a Christmas promotion.
Wow.
All right, guys, I promised everybody we wouldn't get in, and it's easy for us to do. Wouldn't get into all this cigar talk because a lot of people just get bored by it. So I'm going to interrupt the cigar talk here with a question from Kevin Michael, family of Smith. He says, question, don't worry about Ansel Keys. Time also had the German dictator as man of the year. Yeah, we heard that. That's true. That's true. That's true. And I'm not worried about Ansel Keys. It turns out there's a lot of stories about Ansel Keys, but
Well,
I think in the end, if any of these are true, he actually got canceled because he actually changed his mind and became started eating meat and
Really?
all the things he demonized. He lived to be 100, according to the stories, and probably because he learned, and he tried to start telling people that basically he was wrong, but nobody would let his message out. We were so far along in the corruption and the greed and the money and all that and the food guidelines that they canceled Ansel Keys is probably what they did.
Wow.
And if that ain't karma, I don't know what is. But he did live to be 100 years old, and you didn't hear much from him in the later years.
Nope.
You got to give him credit. You got to give him credit, though. He did try to walk it back.
Well, that's what I hear. I never really read anything, or I've heard that all secondhand. I've heard this story a couple of times. And I don't go looking for it, but one of these days maybe somebody will come up with an actual paper that he wrote or a video or something that he made where you'll hear it right from the horse's mouth. Then I say, okay, then that adds some credibility to it. But
Spanky needs the link, Mitch. I don't want to interrupt, but he's.
Oh, who needs the link?
Spanky.
Spanky, let me paste this. There it is. Okay.
Man of many words.
There's the link. Yeah, well, Spanky comes in. He's so pretty, we don't need him to talk. He just sits there, looks pretty. Looks pretty. That's great.
my brother.
We love Spanky. Yeah.
Hey, look at Anna's question.
What's that?
Look at Anna's question you have on
I know,
the
I
screen.
just put it up there to read. Question, Mitch, how many men and women are there in your community? Are men a majority or what? Yes, I think, according to Google, according to my analytics on my channel, it's about 2/3 men, 1/3 women among my viewers. That seems to be the spread that Google tells me. It seems like in the chat that there are more women than just 1/3.
Yeah.
So I think basically that viewing, sitting there quietly, stoically, sitting back, taking it all in, but not even letting their presence be known, which is most of my viewers, because we got 106 people actually viewing this channel right now live. I mean, they are connected and it's showing up on their device. But we don't have many more than 30 of them actually in the chat, and there's 6 or 7 of us here on the screen. Well, 6 before, and with the addition of Spanky.
There he is.
We're here, Spanky. We see you. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, young man?
How you guys doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, Spanky's good, maybe.
What's that?
No, we were talking about men and women. How many are on the channel? What percentage are men and...
Well, my pronoun is she today.
Somebody asked me what my pronouns are. I say my pronoun is go F yourself.
Identify as a duck.
Yeah, I just got to tell you, Rick, I seen that video of your banana trees.
Oh, yeah?
Man, I have a bunch of them here, too, and they ain't worth a damn because I don't eat the bananas. But, man, yours really look healthy.
Oh, they're big. That's because of the ducks.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Yeah, you guys are duck phobic. I mean, I don't know what it is with you and the ducks, but I know. I think you told us, Rick, at one point how all this duck business started.
Yep.
But I don't remember.
When I was a kid, my parents used to give me healthy food, which I hated. The vegetables, the nasty rice and grains and all that crap. So we had jalousie windows in the house, and all I would do is move the window screen a little bit and chuck the food out the window, and the ducks would come waddling in and eat it up, and it would disappear. And when I was in school, my parents gave me a disgusting peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That went to the ducks too. There was a canal. This neighborhood's full of canals. So everywhere I went, there were ducks. So I fed the stuff I hated to the ducks, and that's why I call it duck food.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And Tina, that was when she asked you what you were drinking. You already addressed that. See how far behind I am in this chat. Sherry Morgan is with us this afternoon. Hiya, Sherry. How's everything out there in California? Good to see you, as usual. And here we have somebody named Keith Citizen. Keith Citizen. It's a cool name. Keeping within a healthy BMI range is important. In my case, low no-carb sugar is key, amongst a few other things. Yes. And I don't know how accurate BMI really is, but it's a rough indicator. Oh, Sherry is saying happy Saturday to the sausage party people.
Hey, what about us ducks? There's 2 ducks in here.
Yeah, there's some ducks in amongst the sausages today. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking for questions. You guys don't let me stop you from talking. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Exercise your right to free speech as much as you care to.
Hey, Rick, tell the story. Rick, tell about office building, and they said, don't tell the lady said, hey, don't feed the ducks. And you said,
yeah.
Tell that story.
I was telling that in my live this morning. When we used to have an office at a place called the Koger Center, which doesn't exist anymore. These stupid developers, they built a bunch of crappy condos there. Now they call it downtown Doral. It's across the street from the Trump Golf Course. And there's a lake. So the building that we were in, I think it was called the Augusta Building, people used to eat lunch. We had a real estate office next door, and then there was the insurance people and the tax people. So they always had all this like bread and donuts and, scones and all this other crap. And they're always giving it around, and the stuff was left over. So what do you think I did with it? I didn't throw it out. I took it to the lake for the ducks, and I'd feed the ducks with it, and they were happy. Well, the management company, which I think was called Koala Realty, the lady that was a manager was mad at me because I'm feeding the ducks. And then they're saying, well, they don't want to have the ducks around there because they poop everywhere and they're a nuisance. So they have them removed, and it costs us money. So I said, oh, I can do that for you. I'll remove all the ducks, no problem. So I went there on a Saturday. I got my net, and I had all the duck food, and I was feeding the ducks, and I threw a net over them, and I started catching them. And by the time I got through with it, I think I hauled off 30 ducks from the place. I brought them to my house. I go back there on Monday, and around lunchtime, here comes the manager lady, and she's telling me, oh, you really did take the ducks away. I said, yes, I did. And she was like really impressed, and like, wow, I can't believe it. What'd you do with them? So I took them to my house. What are you going to do with them? Well, I'm going to cook some of them. What? You should have seen the look on her face.
Oh, Tanya, Kitchen Witch, says she weighs 127 now, size 2 jeans, still considered overweight? BS, yes.
What?
BS on that. That's for sure.
My big toe is a size 2 in jeans.
Well, no comment.
But I'm pumped.
No comment. It's really funny. I was always fighting weight. I was always a big boy, husky kid, and everything. I'm.
You never know it.
I'm 136, 137 pounds now, 5'10", BMI of just under 20, which I'm right on the verge of being underweight according to the weight charts, which I think is great. Because I have a light frame. I've always had a light frame.
I wonder if I'm underweight.
Well, you might be.
When I went in the service, I was 160 pounds, and according to the military doctors, they considered me slightly overweight.
Oh.
Even when I was swimming full time in high school, I never weighed less than 160 pounds.
How tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". Well, but you're a stocky guy. You're a big built guy. I mean, I don't have shoulders out to here either. I'm small boned, and I think I'm at the right weight for me, because I still have a little fat on my body. I don't want to be skin and bones. That's not healthy either.
Hey, don't say that.
Yeah, I joined the service. I joined the service at 160. I got out of basic training at 161.
Wow. Yeah, see, I was between like 160 and 180 or 90 most of my life, with occasional journeys up to 200, 210. But I would put a screeching halt to it when I got that bad. I mean, something just went off in me that said that's enough, because I could have gone, if I'd have kept doing what I was doing, I could have become one of these 300 or 400 pounders that you see, and I wasn't going to do that. I had more pride in myself than that, and lost the weight again.
I've always been between 190 and 200. I can't go beyond that.
Yeah, but you're 6'6" tall, for God's sakes. Yeah. That counts for something. Here's a question, FX Trader. This is an interesting question, and you hear it an awful lot. Why are people in Japan not getting fat even though they eat rice and noodles?
Good question.
Well, it is a good question, but if you listened to Sally Norton talking about oxalates, when she got to the point in her interview where they were talking about carnivores, after a long time on carnivore, should think about adding a small amount of carbs, she recommended Oriental rice or rice noodles as the best carb to add in, the cleanest, most poison-free, if you prepare them properly, if you cook them or you soak them enough, okay? So that's exactly what they eat in the Orient, but they don't sit down and eat an 8-inch tall mound of that rice. They eat it with their food, and the food they normally eat it with is always whole food. They eat a lot of pork, they eat a lot of fish, they eat a lot of protein. So that little bit, the carbs that they're adding aren't doing much for them. And over the years, they have adapted to be able to metabolize that many carbs in a day without storing them all away as fat. And I got news for you. If anybody on a standard American diet, anybody who starts the sugar roller coaster at 7 in the morning with donuts and coffee and breakfast cereals and orange juice and pancakes and all that stuff, and by 10 o'clock is crashing on blood sugar and has to get the 10 o'clock coffee break with the associated sweets and carbohydrates, and then the same thing at lunch every 2 hours. If you took somebody who got transplanted them in Okinawa, out in the middle of the rice fields where they didn't have any, they couldn't get any of that sugary crap, and they were forced to eat the diet that these Okinawa people ate, they'd become healthy and thin too. No doubt.
It's like Italy. It's like if you eat pasta and whatnot in Italy, it's very different I think it has something to do with the refinement of the flour. You know, we refine it so much that it's just a pure carb. You know, it's an unrefined carb.
But they eat fat. They eat a lot of fat too, which
Yeah.
The people on a standard American diet hardly eat any fat, and what fats they eat are always the seed oils. All their fats come from seed oils. So polyunsaturated, the worst kind of fats for you. So, you know, there's all kinds of people. The biggest fraud of all is this blue zone nonsense that they keep coming up with. The people in the blue zones live the longest and they only eat vegetables. Well, you know, watch some of Bill Schindler's videos where he's an archaeologist that goes over and lives with these people. And when he gets done telling you about what they don't do to a goat when they prepare it to eat, and you don't get a little bit queasy listening to some of the things on that goat that they eat everything right up to the toenails, these quote, blue zone people. They get plenty of meat. Plenty of meat. It's just propaganda. It's just bullshit.
Can you imagine, guys? I have, at some point when I was my heaviest, I was 230.
Wow.
230, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm
I
now
would agree.
180. I'm now like 180 maybe.
I was 330 at my heaviest.
Oh, wow, Spanky.
Wow. I was 300.
That's out of hand, man. That's a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, I was.
I was 310. I'm down to 270 now.
Wow.
I'm down to 250.
I have a question here from MM. Mitch, since you started making your own electrolyte mix, where does your D3 come from? Well, I never took electrolytes to try to get D3. Most electrolyte mixes do not contain any fat-soluble vitamins. They're all minerals. They are potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium. They put calcium in some of them. I get my D3 from a D3K2 capsule, 5,000 international units. I started taking them a year ago when I saw that my vitamin D level was in my bloodstream was 30 in a range of that bottomed out at 30. So even though I wasn't vitamin D deficient, I was at the lowest number to be considered normal. And keep in mind when they say normal, they're talking about the average of all the sick people. So I started taking this, and people were telling me you need to take massive doses of vitamin, and I was told some of you guys were taking tens of thousands of international units a day, massive doses, bragging about your vitamin D, 80, 90, you know, things like 100, things like that, really high numbers. So I said, well, I'm going to do an experiment for a year. I'm not suffering any symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. I get a little bit of sun, but probably not as much as some native in the jungle who runs around half naked all day long. But I get, all right, who just gave me a hell of an echo? Gave me a hell of an echo. Wow, where'd that come from? All right, I'm going to have to mute all you guys to see if it's coming from me. Mark Booz, it's coming from you somehow. No, it is.
You know, froze.
Who is it? Is it me? Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's still there. Okay, now I'm muting Peter. No, it's not you, Peter. Still there. Who the hell is it? Is it Rick? No, it's not Rick. Greg? It's Greg. Wow. Hello? No? Hello? Yeah, it's you, Greg. It's coming from you somewhere. I don't know what you did or where that echo is coming from, but it is coming from you. Sorry, buddy. All right, let me unmute everybody else and see if that works. And Mark Sr. and
Yep.
Tuka's back.
Good now.
No echo? Echo good
It's
now?
fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Echo.
Okay. Yeah, Greg, something you were doing. God knows why. Why don't you leave and come back in? Let me put the link back in the chat for you in case you don't have it there. And we'll see if we can't fix that. But that's okay. Those things happen. No big deal.
Hmm. I just dropped out just in case to see.
Yeah,
it
no, it
was me,
wasn't
but-
you. It wasn't you.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
definitely Greg because, you know, you have to figure it out. There we go. Okay, so Greg
Mhm.
dropped out, and I will bring him back in when he comes back in. It didn't
We are
sound
back
like
to
it was an echo coming from any speaker or anything. It was sounded like something internally in his device was doing that. Anyway, I got a question here, and I was answering it about the D3.
Did you
I
get
get
your
my
D3
D3
check?
What?
Did you get your D3 check when you
Yes.
had your blood work?
Yes, it was 64.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm very happy with that. So 1 year of taking a 5,000 unit capsule, the smallest capsule you can buy, 1 year of taking one a day, right after immediately as soon as I finish my first meal of the day, I take one of those. You're supposed to take it with food, so I take it on a full stomach. I more than doubled my vitamin D3 count, so I'm very happy, and I don't see a reason to take any more than that. I'm, you know, very, very, very satisfied with the results from that. But that's the problem with these things. You can't just experiment and see whether it worked in a day or two. You got to see the results over a long period of time. And I have no reason to get my blood tested any more than once a year, believe me. Unless, like when I had my kidney stones, they routinely do blood tests when they take you into the hospital. But other than that, no, I had no reason to do it. So my D3 was great. My cholesterol was sky high.
Good.
Yeah, sky high. My total cholesterol was hovering around 5 something, and my LDL was 440 something, and it was great. My triglycerides were a little high around. Last year they were 135. They were 140 something this year. You know, you keep hoping they'll be down below 100, but then I say to myself, it can't be. That doesn't make any sense. If you're fasted and you're a fat burner, and how long you've been fasting since you last ate when you get your blood drawn, because a triglyceride measurement. All right, Greg's back. All right, Greg, talk to us. Let's see what happens.
Testing 2, 3, 4.
Yep, no echo now. I don't know what the hell did that, but
My wife called and it tried to connect to both devices.
okay. Yeah, it had to be something because things shouldn't just change midstream all by themselves without.
Sure.
Yeah. No, my wife called and my headset connects to both devices. So.
Oh, so it was going through your headset. We heard the echo. Man,
Yeah.
talk about multitasking. You're multitasking inside your own head there. That's
Yeah. No kidding.
So at any rate, I was talking about my blood test results and the triglycerides. I'm saying to myself, why would my triglycerides not be? My HDL is in the 70s, so why wouldn't my triglycerides be like a 1-to-1 ratio, which everybody tells you is the best they should be, like it, you know? And mine is closer to 2-to-1. Why should that be like that? And I'm saying to myself, well, what do they measure when they measure triglycerides? Okay, because that's, first of all, you could measure them 10 times during the course of a day, and you can get readings anywhere from 50 to 200 at any given instant, because these things are constantly changing as the body demands things, especially as the body needs energy in the cells. So what do they measure when they measure triglycerides? They measure VLDL, very low density lipoproteins. These are the first lipoproteins out of the gate from the liver. They're huge, big lipoproteins. They're full of triglycerides. That's their main cargo. They have some cholesterol in them. They have some fat-soluble vitamins. Just like a FedEx, just like, Greg, when you're delivering a load of shoes, you may have a few other little miscellaneous cargo things in with the shoes, but the brunt of what you're carrying is shoes, and the reason for the mission is to get those shoes to where they need to get, and the other stuff that's riding along is only riding along because maybe after you drop off the shoes, somebody else along your way needs those oddball things. Well, this is how a lipoprotein works. It starts out as a big, fat VLDL, huge little boat or truck, call it what you want, and it leaves the liver, and it's full of triglycerides, and it's delivering triglycerides to the cells that need it, that need energy, because they're not burning sugar much anymore. They're burning fat. The longer it has been since you ate, I think the higher your triglycerides will go up, because you have to transit more fat through your bloodstream. You still need energy in your cells. I don't care if you're fasting or not. That fat needs to get to the cells to be burned. So it had been almost, when I got my blood tested this time, it had almost been 20 hours since I ate. I only ate one meal the day before. And I ate about 11, 12 o'clock, and I got my blood tested around 8 o'clock in the morning the following day. So it was like a 20-hour fast. And my triglycerides were the only, and my cholesterol too was up. But yeah, when they measure cholesterol, they're not measuring the cholesterol. They're measuring the lipoproteins that are supposedly carrying the cholesterol. So most of those measurements of blood lipids are just interpreted from the size and weight of the truck that's carrying them. And who knows what else might be in that truck alongside the cholesterol. That's why they call it, you'll see LDL-C. Somebody in their infinite wisdom decided to name it LDL cholesterol, which makes at least some distinction between the fact that an LDL particle is not cholesterol, it carries cholesterol. That's what I made the video about yesterday, or the day before. So I'm saying to myself, okay, number one, I've had a couple cups of coffee before I had the blood test. Shouldn't have done that, because that's been known to make your triglycerides go up for some reason or other. Then 20 hours since I ate, it makes sense to me that I'd be trafficking more fat at the time I had my blood test, because I hadn't eaten it. I needed to get that fat out to my cells. It was in the morning. My blood sugar was high 80s, which is good for anybody that worries about their sugar, but 10 points higher than it normally is during the day, because I was in dawn effect, where the body jacks up the blood sugar to get you going in the morning when you first wake up. They call that dawn effect. So I had all these things that figured in, and I figured them into the results and was able to justify just about every number as being exactly where I wanted it to be. So I'm happy, and I certainly don't need a doctor telling me that, because they don't think like I think. And now, I'm not saying I'm certain I'm right or wrong. All I can say is that the way I think makes sense to me, and I'd rather believe that, considering the shape of all the other people that are believing the other thing. So I'm very content with the numbers. Very content with the numbers. All the other numbers were right where they're supposed to be, meaningless. All my electrolytes were good. My vitamin
Hey,
B12
Mitch,
was through the roof. Yes?
Tell the guys what happened when the new dental tried to give you an X-ray on your teeth.
Oh, I don't want to go into that story again, but it was just
That was
me.
a funny story.
I know, but I don't want to go into that again. It was most people have heard it. It was just me not putting up with people trying to tell me what to do when it comes to my own health. Sometimes you have to stake out your territory.
Yeah.
You know, pee on the right things. mark your spot.
Mitch, how much weight do you give the HDL to triglyceride ratio?
Well, it makes sense, but it also depends on. I think if it's somewhere in the rate about a 2 to 1 or lower, I think you're probably in pretty good shape. The normal range for triglycerides goes up to 150 anyway. So I think anything under 150, you shouldn't worry about it. But I do give weight to it. But I think all of us are a little different. Some of us will be into their strict lean mass hyperresponder with fabulously low triglycerides. But if you're burning fat, if you're primarily a fat burner and a carnivore and not eating keto and not eating carbs, I think it makes sense to me that your triglycerides would be higher. And Nick Norwitz proved that to the nth degree with his Oreo cookie versus statin little study. Remember that one?
Yeah.
He lowered his cholesterol And he didn't lower cholesterol. Who knows how much cholesterol you really have? We're measuring lipoproteins, not cholesterol. Lipoproteins do so many other things. What if your body needs more vitamin D all over? Well, it has to use your lipoproteins to transport that. So what happens? What happens if you have something going on in your body and your body decides it needs to get twice as much vitamin D to all of your cells for some reason? Who knows what the reason is? At that particular instant in time, if you were to take a blood test, your cholesterol number would be twice as high as it normally is. Because they're not measuring the cholesterol, they're measuring the LDL particles. So it doesn't, if you're trying to figure out the weight of the cargo, weighing the whole truck doesn't do any good if you don't know what other cargo that truck might be carrying. Maybe you got a truck full of feathers and you're trying to figure out how many feathers are in the truck, but what you forgot to realize is you've got a pallet full of gold bars in the truck too. Well, if you try to equate the weight of the feathers with the weight of gold, you're going to end up thinking that truck has one hell of a lot of feathers in it, when it's really the gold that weighed the truck down. You're just weighing the truck, and that's what happens when you measure lipoproteins. They're not separated out into the stuff they're carrying. I think it's flawed. It's flawed science. It gets us close. It gets us close, but I don't think it gets us close enough to obsess over these numbers and prescribe harmful and side effect-ridden medications in the quantities that we do, when we really don't know what we're looking at if you really analyze how we arrived at those numbers in the first place. So I don't worry about things as long as they're, if my triglycerides came back at 10,500, I say, well, maybe something went wrong with the test. Before I go crazy and wonder what's wrong with me, maybe I ought to redo the test. And I may do that. But I don't even care. It doesn't matter to me what the number is. I don't live by those numbers. The only reason I do it is because everybody keeps asking me. And again, I'll use Anthony Chafee. Does anybody know what his numbers are? Anybody? How about Sean Baker? You know what his numbers are? You know what his cholesterol is? What his triglycerides? No. They don't care. They don't tell anybody. You know why? Because their numbers are probably so out of whack. They know that if they let those numbers out, they would get all kinds of grief. People would be making videos about them saying, you see what carnivore does to you? This guy's got a cholesterol of 650. He's going to die. It's no good. And they don't want to do that. They know they're fine. And I hesitate to give out my numbers or even make videos about them, because there are people that will make reaction videos to my videos just to prove how bad carnivore is for you.
Hey, Mitch, a guy at work, and he doesn't eat great, but he went in and they tested his triglycerides. They were 1,100. He went back two months later. He didn't really change his diet all that much, and it was 150 2 months later.
Yeah, that can happen. It can be a lab error too.
Yeah.
It could be a timing error. It could be anything. Maybe he just ate the wrong thing. Who knows? Who knows? I don't put, they're kind of a guide. Now, if you have inflammation markers that go through the roof, yeah, you might want to be concerned. There are certain tests that tell you things. I think the tests for levels of essential vitamins like B and D and A and those things can't hurt to know those numbers. It was my vitamin D test that alerted me to the point that I probably should take a supplement. Somebody's talking? I didn't hear that.
I sneezed.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're sorry we missed your sneeze. Gesundheit, as they say.
Well, we blessed them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
All right. And Seaside, this is a great question. How important is getting fasting insulin checked when on carnivore? It's a good question. And again, some of these questions have a lot of nuance to them. You can look at them from many different angles. The first thing that comes to my mind when I see a question about like that is I ask myself the question, is there anything that makes a fasting insulin test more important for somebody who's on carnivore than for somebody who is on, say, keto or even a standard American diet? And my answer to that at first thought would be no. No, because what you find out from a fasting insulin test is how much insulin your pancreas is actually producing. And an even better way, I think, than a fasting insulin test is a C-peptide test, because then you're just measuring exactly what insulin your pancreas is producing. And that tells you if you're maybe on the verge of becoming a type 1 diabetic, where your pancreas finally just says, I give up. You've abused me too long. I'm out of here. See how you like sticking yourself with needles for the rest of your life.
There we go.
What are you pointing at, Spanky?
Well, Tuca was frozen and his eyes were shut. I thought he was sleeping, so I was
Well,
trying
he
to
might
poke
very
him
well
awake.
have been. I've been known to put people to sleep before, but that's
I was
okay.
trying to poke him awake.
I was just trying to catch up with the chat there.
That's okay. That's okay. You rest. Take it easy.
Listen. It's 11:30
Oh, go to
a.m.
bed.
here, so I think I'm going to drop out soon.
All right, Tuca. Thanks for coming in. Always good to see you, man.
We'll see you
Always
soon,
good
man.
to see you.
I see
Yep.
you too.
Thanks, guys,
All
for
right.
having me.
Quacking.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, let me get back to that question that I was answering. A fasting insulin is a test that every human being should get, carnivore or not. Now, you're not eating any sugar on carnivore, which means there's probably very little demand for insulin. And if you don't have a problem, if you don't have, say, a high A1C, you're not a pre-diabetic, you haven't been fighting diabetes, you haven't been a type 2 diabetic, or you're absolutely not a type 1 diabetic, I don't think it would be real necessary for a carnivore to worry about fasting insulin, because there would be no reason to have insulin. Insulin is only injected in the blood in response to a rising blood sugar level, and since we're not eating any sugar, our blood sugar tends to stay fairly normal in most people. Okay, for most people, and the argument for getting a fasting insulin test instead of focusing on the glucose measurements or the glucose tolerance tests is that as you continue eating more and more sugar, and your the average of your blood pressure continues to go up slowly, and your A1C starts to climb because there's more sugar in the blood more of the time, more of that will glom onto the red blood cells, which is what they measure when they take an A1C, a hemoglobin HbA1c. But your sugar levels stay pretty constant, it seems, when your fasting sugar stays pretty constant when they test it, because you're putting enough insulin in your blood to keep the sugar levels at bay. It's taking and cramming all that sugar into your cells more and more and more. And over a period of 5 to 10 years before someone actually starts to become a diabetic by the numbers. Most doctors will do a glucose tolerance test and see that it's within normal range and say, you're fine, no problem, you're perfectly healthy. Meanwhile, you're needing 3 times as much insulin as you needed 5-10 years ago to accomplish that. And you're getting up to the point where you can't produce enough insulin to keep that glucose tolerance test, and all of a sudden you tip into diabetic territory, and now your doctor says, now you're a diabetic. Well, if you had been looking at your fasting insulin over the previous 10 years, you would have seen it going up every year, up and up and up and up and up. And that would tell you something ain't right. How come I need to make more insulin now than I did last year? It's because you're eating more sugar that needs to be dealt with. And if we had been doing fasting insulin or C-peptide tests, looking at the amount of insulin we need to make over 10 years before diabetes sets in, you'd catch it after a year or two and learn, well, something's not right here. I'm becoming a diabetic, and in 10 years I will be one if it keeps up at this rate. And that would be a much better time to start to learn, and especially with the advice of the medical community, to tell people, if you don't quit eating the amount of sugar you're eating in 10 years, you're going to become a diabetic, insulin-dependent diabetic for the rest of your life. We caught it early by using a C-peptide or a fasting insulin test. Aren't you lucky that I'm a doctor that knows something? And you would be lucky to have a doctor that knows that. Ken Berry knows that. He talks about that a lot. So yeah, that's the fasting insulin test and why it would be good. The fact that you're on carnivore or not just basically means you probably won't need it being on carnivore, because you probably, even if you did a fasting insulin test, you'd probably find that year after year it stayed pretty much the same. There would be no reason for you to have to produce more and more insulin every year if you're not eating sugar or you're not eating carbs. And if that happened, then there really would be something to look at. But it would be maybe a very rare genetic condition or something like that most people would never find, and they're not going to do that test. They fight against it. If you ask your doctor, will you do a fasting insulin test on me? He'll ask you, why would you want something like that? Because he has no idea. Isn't it amazing that somebody can be a doctor and not know what I just said? Something I've learned from a couple of carnivore doctors over the years listening to them. I never knew that shit about fasting insulin, but I listened to Anthony Chafee, I listened to Ken Berry. These guys are doctors. They came to these realizations years ago, and they said these things, and I listened, and I say, wow, does that ever make sense? And, we all learn everything we know from somewhere. We don't come with all of this built into us. So that's my answer. It's a good question, Seaside. Good question. And an interesting rabbit hole to go into. Keep us from talking more about cigars. And I'm still going down the chat. Where am I? 417. I'm not too far behind because I've been keeping track. Okay, guys, you can talk to each other if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I'll rest my voice a little bit.
You still got iguana problems there, Mark?
Yes. Yes.
Iguana.
It's
Start
slowed,
cooking.
it's slowed down since it got cold here for the last couple of weeks. I say cold, but they slowed down. I don't see them as much. I mean, usually there's 4 or 5 of them on my dock, on my boat. So
Anybody eating them? Anybody eating them? Anybody roasting them over an open fire? Well, beside you, Rick, I understand.
No, I've never had it, but I'm going to find out soon enough because
There you go.
my dock
They're
is
best
a mess.
deep fried.
Deep fried iguana.
Deep fried in pure lard.
There you go.
Claudia Burkitt with us. How you doing?
I've had them over open fire, never deep fried.
They're a little tough over a fire, though.
Yeah.
The tail is really all you eat, right?
You can eat the legs, too.
Oh, you can eat the legs? Okay.
Yeah. You can boil them or deep fry them. I like them deep fried.
Lewis is here.
I got
hello,
hey,
Lewis.
How you doing?
How you doing, young
hey,
man? Good to see you.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right.
Good.
I just got here. What I miss? I'm just kidding.
What did you miss?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid you missed an hour and 40 minutes of it. So
I know.
You'll have to watch.
know.
You'll have to, that's why we have replays. So
That's right. That's right.
You missed
can
me
watch
in
the
my
replay.
tube top and my cow print shorts. So
Oh, nice.
you missed her.
I heard you guys talking about fasting insulin. I get mine checked every 3 months, and Mitch was right. My doctor doesn't know what to do with it. And my lowest fasting insulin was 1.8. And my last one at the end of December was 4.
Really,
Yeah.
are you eating sugar at all?
No. That's really good.
So, I mean,
under 10 is ideal.
oh, okay. So you said 4 versus 1.8. I'm thinking twice as much, and I'm wondering why
No,
it went up twice.
You
as
know,
much.
Dr. Berry explained it as fasting insulin is like it's released out of your pancreas like a wave, like a pulse.
Yeah.
And you never know when they're gonna
When
draw
you're
the
going
blood.
to do it.
Right.
Well,
And when I got-
so many things in our body are squirted out, and if you happen to catch it at the right time, you're going to get a spike.
And when I got the 1.8, my doctor was like concerned because like the range is supposed to be above 2, and he was like, "Wow, it's really low." And I was like, oh. And I wasn't fasted for much longer than normal. Usually, I fast for 12 to 14 hours before blood work. I try to be consistent. And yeah, it was,
Well,
I'm here, Tordomir. I'm here.
That's the thing about these numbers. When you're not eating any sugar,
Mm-hmm.
you're the only glucose that's going to be finding its way into your bloodstream is the glucose that you're manufacturing through gluconeogenesis, and that's on demand. And you may not need a lot of sugar, and there are other times during the day when you may need a lot more sugar. If you do a lot of physical exercise, you got glycogen to replace. Well, that requires glucose. Your brain, about 30% of your brain needs glucose. Your red blood cells need some glucose. And so you can get wild different blood sugar readings, even if you're not eating sugar, and which could explain why at one particular point your fasting insulin was really, really low. But the next time it came out 4,
which is good.
You're right. Cool.
And I wish
Cool.
I would have started. I wasn't checking that from the beginning because I didn't know. And so I never really saw that like super high insulin level that people with diabetes would have. And that would have been fun to see that, but it's okay.
Well, were you a diabetic?
Yes.
Oh wow, you're so young for a diet. Holy cow!
Listen, it's the times we live in.
And how's your A1C these days?
My A1C, my lowest A1C was 5.2.
That's
and
wonderful.
My last one was 5.5.
Okay, as long and I know these numbers sound really close, but 5.6 is supposed to be the cutoff.
Yeah.
Before they consider you a pre-diabetic, and there's even some. This whole pre-diabetes thing is a construct anyway. You're not a diabetic until you're 6.5. And even the American Diabetes Association today says we need to aim to keep diabetics' A1Cs around 7, which is a full-blown type 2 diabetic, usually reliant on insulin or drugs or both. Why would you want to keep it there when you can cut out the sugars and go back down to 5.5 or 5.3 or something like that and not be a diabetic?
And you're telling me that 6.4, no damage is being done, but 6.5 there's damage being done?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I get it. They have to draw a line somewhere, but it's
and they
you're
still,
right.
They still tell you can't cure diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you can't cure lead poisoning either, but when you stop ingesting lead, you're going to do a hell of a lot more good for your body than continuing to eat the lead, complaining that you can't cure lead poisoning. And that's pretty much what they do with the sugar.
Yeah. In October, I stopped taking my last diabetic medication. So that might be why my A1C went up a little bit from 5.3 to 5.5.
Well, my A1C, Lewis, 2 years ago was 4.9.
Yeah, I was striving to get down to 5.0.
Well, but this year, the point I'm trying to make, this year it's 5.1.
Okay.
Okay. Now, last year it was 5.0. The school of thought, whether it's ever been proven, and I don't think they've ever been able to do any tests to prove this, or anybody has any reason to fund a study to prove this, because who cares? One of the theories is that as you become healthier, every cell in your body becomes healthier, and that includes your red blood cells. And that means your red blood cells may live longer. An A1C just measures how much sugar has glommed onto a red blood cell during its lifespan. So if your blood cells are immersed in your blood for 5 or 10% longer than they had been, it stands to reason that your A1C might be 5% higher because it's just been in the soup. It's like when you dye something, when you soak it in dye. The longer you leave it in the dye, the darker it gets. And same thing with blood cells. So that may be the reason why it's up. But 5.1,
it's great. I can't complain
about that. And I eat no sugar, so All of that, whatever glucose is in my blood is coming from me. I'm manufacturing it.
Cigar.
Hey, Mitch.
Yes.
15 years ago, when I was first diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. Guess what my A1C was?
What, 18?
14 and a half.
Wow.
Holy cow. How are you still living today?
I don't know.
And how is it these days? How is your diabetes these days?
I'm right around 6.1, 6.2 the last time.
No shit. Really? Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm getting my blood work on Monday.
That's fabulous, man.
Mickey, how often do you get blood work? Do you go every 3 months or
yeah, every 3 months I have to get it done.
You're doing good. That's great. Yeah, I hung around. My highest A1C was probably 8.5. And then when I started when I first went low carb, I was 6.6, then 5.7, then 5.3, 5.3, 5.2, 5.3, and then 5.5. So I came down to non-diabetic range pretty quick.
That's great, man.
And on keto. It wasn't even on carnivore.
Well, you could do it on keto too by eating low carbs.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Here's a comment question from CB. Hi, CB. A police chief told me he's on strict carnivore diet but eating lean meat only. Wow. That's no bueno. No bueno.
Gonna be hungry.
I tried to convince him he needs fat, but he's still fooled on the fat and cholesterol being bad. Well, he's not getting enough calories then, because you couldn't eat enough lean meat to really give you everything you need. And it's not good to get too much protein either. Carnivore is described as a high fat, moderate protein diet. But there's only 3 basic macros. There's fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So if he's not getting fat in his diet and he's just eating lean meat, he would have to be getting the rest of those calories from carbohydrates, which means he's not a carnivore. So CB, you need to figure out some way, because he could do more harm to himself than good.
Get him a membership to the channel.
Yeah. Tell him to start watching here, or watching anybody that'll dispel some of those myths about fat. Fat is one of the healthiest things we can eat. It also makes our food taste so much better.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I can't imagine eating chicken breast. Can you imagine living on just chicken breast?
No.
Heart attack chicken.
Heart attack chicken. Yuck.
I can live on breasts.
Yeah, well, I understand, Spank.
You got to cook your chicken heart attack style. Load it up with tallow and lard.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You leave the skin on there.
Absolutely.
Get all the chicken fat. Chicken fat is a great fat to use in cooking. The old Jewish people, the old Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
They called it schmaltz. You ever heard that word, schmaltz? Schmaltz,
duck
that
fat.
Was chicken fat. The same thing, duck fat's pretty much the same. Duck fat may even be better. My grandmother used to cook everything. Whenever she fried something, they used to make blintzes, latkes, potato pancakes. Whatever they were frying, it was in chicken schmaltz. And the flavor that it added was so great, so great. I don't know why I don't get some of that stuff. I really enjoy stuff fried in that.
Jewish people don't use lard.
No, not hardly lard, but
not from a pig.
Yeah, but that's why so many of these really old Jews that are still kicking. That's why they lived so long. You looked at the diet that they ate. First of all, they ate peasant food. They always ate the cheapest cuts of meat, and they learned how to cook them. So they're making briskets and stews, and they're making all that kind of stuff, and everything was cooked with a lot of fat, a lot of real animal fat, and by accident or by culture, and just doing the same thing, for hundreds and hundreds of years, they pretty well zeroed in on a correct diet, macro-wise, and they weren't carb addicts. They would have desserts, but nobody overate these. In fact, most of the time after dinner, they'd bring out a pie or something, and I don't remember anybody ever finishing a whole piece. They would eat a couple bites of it, and then it was it. They had enough. Could any of us do that today? No, it'd be back to you put a pie out on the counter and give me a slice and don't pay attention to me, and that whole pie's gone before too long. I'm going back 6 times.
Whack.
Essentially, we're addicts. We are addicts.
Especially pumpkin pie with a big giant tub of Cool Whip.
Whack.
Whack. Yeah. You remember the movie called
thank you.
Fatso? You remember the movie called Fatso with Dom DeLuise?
Yeah.
Hey now, don't call me names.
Fatso. That was a great movie. Fatso with Dom DeLuise. He was always trying to lose weight, and there was a bunch of his friends were big and fat, and they formed a group called Chubby Checkers. It was like Weight Watchers, and they were always getting together, trying to, like an AA meeting, trying to help each other not eat. And they would meet in Dom DeLuise's kitchen, and his brother, who was a skinny guy, would chain up all the cabinets and pantries. He would put chains with locks on them, and they would sit around in the kitchen with all these chained and locked up cabinets, and they couldn't. And they were drinking hot water out of a cup, not even tea, but hot water. And these guys were huge, and
Be right back.
in their meeting, it would progress like this. One of them would say, and the brother's name was Junior, and they would say, Junior, have you got a little lemon for the hot water? And Junior would get some lemon. Then one of them would say, you think I could have a little honey, maybe a little honey for my hot water? And one thing would progress. Then they'd start talking about the foods they like. And they'd start talking about s'mores and cakes and pies. And you could see the like a bunch of alcoholics talking about their favorite drinks. All of a sudden you could see their mouths watering. And then they started demanding things. Junior, unlock the cabinet. And he said no. Finally, they ended up they ended up physically tearing the doors, chains and all, right off the pantries, and had a binge eating orgy that lasted till the morning. And they ate everything in the house that didn't eat them. And that, I thought, was very, very indicative of what an addiction can do to you. No matter what your intentions are, once those juices get flowing, man, you're helpless. And it was a funny scene, the way it developed, the way it built up, like a volcano ready to blow. Them talking about ice cream sundaes. Oh, I really like it when they put the chocolate sauce on top, and then the nuts, and then they kept talking, and the more they talked, the more out of control they got. It was a great scene. It's called Fatso. I know it's on YouTube. You can just find it and watch it. It's a great movie. I've got a couple scenes. I used a scene from that in one of my videos. Just a short clip as an opening. It's a good movie. Good, funny movie to watch. All right. I've been keeping up with the chat. I'm down here. This CB Carmax comment was not too long ago, 442. Let me scroll down. I think I've been keeping up with the questions, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see here. Anything else? Hey, Polish Mike is here. How you doing? Polish Mike, good to see you. There I am, down to the bottom of the chat again. How about that? Steve McAvoy says, damn, my coffee pot is empty. Well, at this point in the day, Steve, probably okay. Okay. Here you go, Lewis. And Anna PLO7 says to you, Lewis L. Great, me too. After 4 months, I improved. Yes,
We're talking
it does
about
work.
We're talking about
work.
D3 in the chat because
Are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
D3. Yeah, like I say, I'm very happy with mine.
Yeah.
With mine, I take the one little capsule. That's all, and it more than doubled my D. And why would I take any more? I'm happy with it. With a 67, I think, is what it was. 67 or 68.
Sherry says check your email.
Check my email. Sherry, what did I miss? It didn't go ding.
Maybe it didn't get there yet.
I don't know. No, somebody did buy me a coffee. Sherry Morgan. Oh. She's so. I don't know why it didn't go ding, but thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Sherry
Ding,
bought me
ding,
five.
ding, ding, ding.
Sherry bought me 5 coffees. Wow, wow,
Wow.
wow. Thank you for sending me the Meat Sweats theme song, Raining in My Heart. This for you, Sherry. Is that the new Meat Sweats theme song? Yes, yes, yes. That is such a cool
featuring
song,
Itchy and Scratchy?
Yeah, must. Yeah. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Raining in my heart. Absolute. No burn pun intended. Have a great sausage party, she says. Thank you, Sherry. Glad you're here. And thank you so much for that. And thanks for
Hey, Mitch,
telling. Yes.
I'm making summer sausage this week when I go home.
Well, are we inspiring you?
I've got 25 pounds of chuck in the freezer.
Holy
waiting
cow.
to be ground up, and about 12 pounds of pork.
Oh my God, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little sausage.
That'd be great. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know
dessert.
why my phone didn't go ding on that one, Sherry, but thanks for putting that. Do that. Do that. If any of you buy me a coffee and I don't immediately hear a ding and acknowledge you and thank you for it, put it in the chat. Let me alert me to it. These phones, they have minds of their own sometimes. And Anna says, I'm an example. I don't know what I'm an example of. A crazy old fart, probably, but I hope every one of you, when you get to my age, you younger people in here,
I'll be dead by
are
then.
feeling as good as I'm feeling now, and I hope you learn the lessons that I finally learned at age 75. I hope you learn them much sooner in life.
Heart attack
Honest
first.
to God. What's that?
Have a heart attack first.
Yeah,
Me.
I haven't had any indications of any heart problems. Knock on wood, man. Yes,
Well,
sir.
you know, I'm on the heart attack diet. I invented it, so it's coming.
Yeah, turns out that the heart attack diet is the healthiest diet on planet Earth. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And you go into they have restaurants, the Heart Attack Grill. You know, I mean, that's a thing. And you go in there, and they're serving the healthiest food on the planet in a lot of cases. Yeah, and the heart attack
Quadruple
breakfast, the
bypass
bacon and eggs. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, there's a burger joint in Vegas that you go in and you get on a scale, and if you weigh over 350, your meal's free.
Heart attack grill.
The heart attack.
Yeah.
Grill.
Oh, is that right? You weigh over 350? Oh my God!
Yeah, your meal
I'll
is
tell you
free.
what. No thanks. I'll pay for my meal.
Their quadruple bypass burger is almost the same as my heart attack burger, except mine has more calories.
Nice.
And when you say that to people, to the average civilian who knows nothing about this stuff, when you say heart attack, they think you're not being facetious. They think you're actually mean. You eat this burger, you're going to get a heart attack.
Yeah. That's what
Why
I
would
told
you eat
them.
that heart attack burger when you could be eating a healthy tofu sandwich?
I'd rather be dead.
Yeah, you and me both.
My dad used to eat that disgusting tofu. He used to cook it up with soy sauce. It smelled terrible. It looked worse. And not even a duck would eat it. I threw it to the ducks one time and they spit it out. So that's how bad it was.
Yeah, it's true. People should take
8963884.
clues from their people should take clues from their babies. You give
I'll be
a
right
baby you give a baby okay, Greg. You give a baby vegetables, they spit them out, they push them away, they don't want them. Give your baby a big hunk of beef rib. Take a lesson from your dog. Give your dog table scraps, meat and fat, leftover stuff you cut off your steak. Man, they dive into that stuff. Give them a spear of broccoli and see what they do. Well, they'll walk the other way. I mean, the evidence is out there. It's all obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't get the message. It's incredible, the misinformation out there. And they accuse us of spreading disinformation and being dangerous and needing to be corrected all the time and censored. See, now my phone just went ding. My phone just went ding.
I sent you an email.
Oh, okay. Why did it go ding? Why did it go ding now?
I didn't buy your coffee.
Lewis. Oh, before and after. Wow. Well, you look at your face. Look at your face, man. Okay, hang on a second, guys. I want to share this one with you. I have the technology here.
Usually, I know you like to prepare ahead of time. You don't like.
No problem. I mean, I can. This is easy. I can do this. I can do this with just a couple clicks. I can do this. Watch this.
And I was gonna send a picture of my wife and I also, but I have to ask her if she wants me to share her picture.
Look at this. And in fact, let me make it bigger so I'm not covering it all up here. Look at this.
Holy smoke!
I mean, you weren't, Lewis. You weren't that big beforehand, but look at your face and your neck.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow! Look at the difference.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
I want to say that
you weren't.
picture.
I mean, people looking at you, look at your midsection. They would say, "Oh man, Lewis is a thin, good-looking guy." Look.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. You just don't realize what average has become.
That's 100 pounds. I think I was probably 275
pounds,
and then 175.
Man,
and then
man.
My highest weight ever recorded was I think 320, but that was that was
holy cow. Well, this is for you, Lewis. This is for you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Congratulations. That's great. And yeah, if I get these pictures during a stream, it's no big deal for me to get them up there and show people. I have all of this in front of me after all. And there's Lewis. See him up there on the big screen? Well, what I did was I made Lewis this big, see? And then I went over to my notebook, and in my broadcast software, I said, show everybody the monitor. The big monitor. And that's when I did that. And in that scene, I put a little camera version of myself down in the corner, which I could even remove like that if I wanted.
Well, we can't. We can't see it because we're all in the cubes. We can't see your little thing in the corner.
Oh, okay. But
that's fine.
But yeah, you're seeing me in my little cube. That's all you saw. Well, I could, what I could. Well, the problem is I don't have 3 monitors because I'm covering up the stuff that I would need to change to make me full screen in our little thing. So, you did see the picture, didn't you?
Yeah, you did good.
Okay, because if anybody had trouble seeing the picture, I can do this, okay, and then I can
don't make me go full screen.
Then I can here it is here. Then I can do that. Then I can do that. Then I can do this, and now you guys can see full screen.
Wow, what a difference!
And you see me down in the corner here.
And I try to think how I felt. Yeah, it was uncomfortable, It was definitely uncomfortable.
I'll bet. But like I say, looking at you, you don't really look that big.
Mm-hmm.
That's average today. That's the sad
thing.
thing.
No. I mean, I was heavy, but right. It was not,
That's average. All right, now I got to go back and undo what I just did. Here we are. Okay. One thing I can do, which I should do more often and I don't do, is I can put this scene up here. I can stack you all up on the side while I make myself bigger, so as you're not really gone. I keep forgetting that I've got that option too. But
that's a good option for sharing your screen.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and put everybody up in little boxes on the sides.
Rick has that picture. What was that, Rick?
Oh, this is just me when I was younger. I was a kid.
Well, you were a string bean, weren't you?
Look at you. Yeah. Is that a cat?
That was my first cat.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, it's not the same cat.
No, I hope not.
Wow.
That'd be impressive if it was.
Yes.
Vampire cat.
Yes. Well, listen, guys, it's after 5 o'clock. It's getting late. And I think it's about time to call it a day. We're having fun, though. I mean,
are you going to share a link on Monday for your inauguration party?
Yeah, when Monday comes. Yeah, absolutely. Monday night is going to be one of these kind of things. And I'm going to start it at 7. And hopefully we'll go through the weekend with no incidents that disrupt the whole entire proceedings on Monday.
I'm sure everything will be fine.
I'm getting more sure as we get closer.
I'm confident. Everything will be okay.
And
Whatever
back.
happened with the your last live stream? Did you get demonetized? I missed the update.
Well, yeah, the one with you guys. Evidently,
Right.
something. I got YouTube. It's not that there's that much money involved. It's the
Yeah,
principle
I'm just
of the
interested.
thing.
I'm just interested if it
I
happened.
mean, you know how much YouTube pays me for the advertising on my average live stream? About $4.
$4.
Yeah, about $4. So it's no big loss. It's just the concept and the idea of being censored for giving good information or even just having fun. And the only ones that have ever gotten demonetized are the ones where I have a panel like this. I don't know. Maybe they have. You're only allowed to have so many minutes of cigar smoking on screen before they consider it inappropriate. And I wouldn't be surprised, because even in movies today, you know, they put warnings at the top of the movie, contains nudity. Well, they put smoking in there. They need to warn people if somebody's smoking in a movie. The one warning they should put in there, they never put in there. And that should be consuming mass quantities of sugar.
Yeah.
They never put that does more harm than any of the other things that they might put in a movie. So at any rate, guys, you guys can say goodbye to everybody and each other and drop out when you're done saying goodbye, and I'll let everybody in the chat.
See all you guys.
Goodbye.
Take care, guys.
And
Yeah,
thanks
you
so
too,
much
guys.
for
All
coming
right.
in. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I appreciate you. Always love your company.
And goodbye to everybody else out there that was watching. Be safe and be well.
Thank you, Spanky.
Thank you.
Too. You too. Greg's getting back in his truck well, he'll probably be the last one here. He'll come in
There
and
you
say,
go.
where'd everybody go?
Yeah, you know, they're all going away. We're going bye-bye.
Well, Greg, you're back, and we're just all checking out here.
Mhm.
Thanks for
Okay.
coming, my friend.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All
Yep.
right, and we'll see you Monday night. We're going to be doing this live again Monday night with the panel for
Okay.
our little celebration. You be careful out there, man. Drive carefully.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Okay, take care. And
Keep
Rick,
on quacking.
always. You too, my friend.
All
You
right.
too. All right, I will see you all the next time. And let me play Sherry's Meat Sweat music, raining in my heart, to take us out and thank everybody. Thank everybody for coming in. Thank you for the generosity you show me, not only with your coffees, but with your presence here, your good comments, and just being part of this community. Had a nice time. Yeah, 2 hours went by so fast. I don't know, makes my head spin sometimes. Time to eat, man. This is my second meal of the day is 5 o'clock. I never ever eat that late, but I ate my first meal of the day late, so my fasting window will probably still be the same. So I'm gonna run in and grab some food, take all this stuff apart, and set it all up again tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, my friends, you know the thing. You know the thing. We might not have to hear about the thing much longer, but you know the thing for now. Take the rest of the day off, my friends, and eat meat.